Hello everybody, welcome to the whiteboard video in just a second, but as per usual, going to be updating you with the Fan League. So what is Fan League? Fan League is a prediction app where you predict out of the Premier League and the Championship. If you get 10 out of 13, you win money. If you invite your mates, you get a free game, and also they get 2 free games as well, and anything that they win over 10 or more at the score, you'll win as well. So I won last week. I won quite a bit, so thank you very much. But you know, get involved in it. I won 38 quid from 20 pence last week, so you know what I mean. Download the app, it's in the link in the description. I'm just going to give you some predictions what I'm going for this week, because I've been doing quite well. So I've gone for Sunderland not to win, obviously. Straightforward wins, I think, for Tottenham, Man City, Chelsea and Arsenal. I think we'll draw though, as I've mentioned. I think you'll see it, I've already mentioned a couple of times that I think it'll be a boring 0-0 draw with us. But if you want to copy me, that's fine, you know, I'm pretty decent as I mentioned. The pundits, now there's a few pundits out there who are part of this and they're absolutely shocking. I'm going to name and shame them. You know, my average out of 13 every week is 9.5. However, Sven-Göran Eriksson's is 8.3. 8.3. The guy who seems to know a lot, if that makes sense. You know, Ball Street presenter James Alcott, who's obviously we're part of Ball Street, a poor 7.9. James, 7.9. Shocking. Ian McIntosh, who's a reporter, is 8.14, and the boss of Fan League 7.71. Sort it out. Get me be a pundit, know what I mean? Blow me on trumpet here, but some shocking scores here, like on average, and I'm hammering these. You know, as I mentioned, if you invite your friends, you get a free game as well, and your friends get 2 free games as well, you know. So as I mentioned last week, I won money. I got 11 out of 13 correctly, but not only did I win money, I recruited Sean Smith as well. He got 10 out of 13, that's right. So I won some of the pot in Fan League, so we both won as well. So invite your mate, you know, you win more stuff if you do that. You know, speaking of the league table, I'm currently second. As I touched upon the other day, Sean Smith is currently top. Basically, he had 1 week, he come in and went straight to the top. That's the beauty about this. It's not done on a season by season. It's done week by week, which is pretty cool. YouTubers such as 44Toons, Rory from Chelsea Fans channel, you know, and Mr. DT, Arsenal. I'm hammering these week in, week out, and they're struggling, you know what I mean? So if you want to get involved in this, it's free to download. Add us on the Fan League. Download the app, add us on Fan League, and then we'll invite you to the league. It's easy to win. I think it's easy to win money, and yes, we're promoting it for an obvious reason. It's easy to win. Let's get over to the whiteboard. Right, then let's get on with the whiteboard then. So, this is where I'm going to begin with the Southampton side. I don't think there'll be many changes. I think there'll be Forster on goal, Cedric Suarez. I think Yoshida will keep his place centre-back alongside Van Dijk. Bertrand at left-back, Lemina and Romao and the 2 centre midfield and holding roles. And then you'll have Davis, Tadic and Redmond as the 3 attacking. And I think Gabbiadini will come in for Shane Long. I know Shane Long's got that doubt about him, but I still think even if Shane Long was fit, I think there will be changes up top. Southampton are struggling to score goals. As you can see, they play quite a similar formation, almost identical to Newcastle, the 4-2-3-1 formation. And then you're going to say, right, okay, so if they're not scoring many goals, why aren't they scoring enough goals? Well, this man, Nathan Redmond, hasn't been on top form this season. Yes, he's a threat and he'll come inbound and so on, which DeAndre Yedlin, another problem that he hasn't faced before the season, because he's played against wingers who are literally outbound, but Redmond will come in. But the problem with Nathan Redmond that he's had so far this season, the Southampton fans, including the Ugly Inside who were on the channel the other night, said that this man takes too many touches before releasing it. And that's a problem. You've got to literally have 1 or 2 touches in the Premier League, otherwise it'll cause you to lose the ball. So this guy has been very impressive from what Saints fans have had, the beast in centre midfield role. So obviously he'll be trying to keep an eye on Jose Perez. So he's obviously going to be key for them. Tadic, the little bit of inspiration. I think if Tadic plays poor, Southampton play poor. It's kind of like John Joe Shelby last season in the Championship. If he played poor, Newcastle wouldn't really get into second gear. Gabbiadini, now he is going to be your fox in the box. So this is going to be something, because I don't feel that Lascelles and Clark have really been proper tested. I think this man has the capabilities of doing it, because he's not your typical striker. He's your old-fashioned Italian Vivandiva, as I would say. So you'll see Gabbiadini spin off left, right and centre. When the ball's out wide, you'll see Gabbiadini already on the run already, even though the ball's out wide. He's very clever. He's smart in the head. I think he's totally different to Shane Long, whereas Gabby Dean, you've got to watch him all the time as the ball's out wide. So the likes of Lascelles, your likes of Clark, even the likes of Stian Moreno and Shelby are going to have to be looking out wide and looking behind him and so on, because he's so good. His movement, for me, is one of the best in the Premier League. I'm going out and saying that. I genuinely think that his movement is phenomenal. Yes, he hasn't got off the great start of the season, but the threat is there. Now, you look at the centre-backs and the defence, I think this man it can be target if he plays. That for me, that is a problem that Southampton have got. There's a mistake in him, and we should get whoever plays up top, whether it's Hoslu or it's Gale or whoever. Mitrovic will come out to Newcastle in a second. Get him on there because of the mistake in him. Now, is he in the right mind of frame? Have I said that right last time? Because someone corrected me in the comments box. So whether he performs, he'll be on a downer because obviously Holland not qualifying. So yes, he's a quality player, but I think they're strong on the full backs, because you'll see Bertrand and Cedric Suarez, the Portuguese right back, getting up and down that flank for them guys to then cut in as well. He'll be a busy bee all over the place. So they do, although they're not scoring, they have got some threat. But, you know, we need to test Fraser Forster. You know, against us, we let him go many years ago when he was fourth choice, went up to Celtic on loan and they bought him. But if we can test him, because he's not going to save every shot and Newcastle need to pepper the goal, but I don't think it'll be that. I generally just can't see this being a thrilling game, but let's get out of Newcastle. Right, so Newcastle, and I think there's only two positions up for grabs, which is Hayden's position and Javi Manquillo at left back. I don't think, actually, none of those two will start. As you can probably tell, I've gone for Mbemba and I've gone for Shelby Moreno to keep their places. I think that's the only two positions that you could say that Rafa might change. I'd be very surprised, but Rafa being Rafa, he always surprises us anyway, doesn't he? But, you know, I think the side picked itself. They'll play the 4-2-3-1. They'll play very deep on the counter. Will allow Southampton to have a lot of the ball, a lot of it, and expect the likes of, you know, these two, I think, in particular, will try and get on the ball, because Southampton are going to have the three midfields, three attacking. And I think if these can get on the ball, because we know that Moreno can bring the ball forward better than what Shelby can, whereas Shelby can just literally spray one if he needs to whoever it may be. So we've got a couple of options there. I think the full-backs, I don't think you'll see them bombing on as much. I think Yedlin, for me, was our best player against Liverpool. That is the best performance defensively that I've seen from DeAndre Yedlin against Liverpool. I thought it was fucking brilliant. I think it was absolutely fantastic. Lascelles and Clark have been absolutely brilliant. The partnership, you can't really split them up. Obviously, he's had a, let's just say, an interesting weekend last weekend, you know, with he signed his contract, nominated for Player of the Month, getting into an alleged fight, you know, but you know, life of a footballer. And I think Mbemba will come in this time. I don't think it'll be Manquillo. I think Mbemba will come back in at left back. He played for the Democratic Republic of Congo in centre midfield, so he's fit. I think Atsu, you can't really drop him. I know Rolando Aarons isn't really getting on the bench lately, but I think it's got to be Atsu, because what he can bring, having the ball in this position, he can get you to A to B very, very quickly with his pace. On the other flank, Matt Ritchie, the man just works his socks off. He'll be disappointed with the Scottish result, as in Yedlin with the USA result. Both of them not going to the World Cup, but you'll see Ritchie work really, really hard. You know, he's got several assists this season, so getting the ball, I think Newcastle, if you look at this, the midfield is clearly the key, isn't it? Now, yeah, I mean, he's talked about dreams of going to the World Cup of Spain, but no disrespect to Jose Perez, that's not going to happen, is it? You know, he needs a performance, and we seem to be, that's the problem, we seem to be seeing it every week now, that Jose Perez needs a performance, and it's getting to the point where how much do you persist with Perez? I think Horsley will continue up top. He scored. I don't think Rafa will change that. I'd be very surprised if he goes for Gale or even Mitrovic. Yes, Mitrovic is on a high with Serbia and so on, but I think it'll be Horsley, and I think Horsley. So what surprised me looking at the stats the last couple of games, he's actually one of the hardest working strikers that we've ever had at the club, like ever, and that surprised me a little bit. Working really hard. Yes, he's got no pace, but he'll work hard for the team, bringing the midfield into play. For me, Jose Perez could do with a goal just to get his... I know he works very hard at home, but for me, I'd like to say Jose Perez get off the mark this season. He needs a goal more than probably what everyone else does. I generally think we're going to sit deep, as I mentioned, hit them on the counter. It's going to be very similar to the Swansea game. It's like, where can Newcastle nick it? I think you're going to have to ask your midfield with a little bit of quality. I think for Newcastle to win it, this is where we're going to win it. So my prediction is I'm going to say a boring 0-0. Sorry, folks. Not glamorous and now, but you know you will have a 0-0 some point this season. I think this may be it. Cannot see much being in it. Southampton struggle to score. We're very compact. Get involved in Fan League. Remember, it's a bit of fun. Obviously, I've won last week again. So, hi ho. See you later. Bye bye.